ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the breaking news of the day. A lot of people out there have been saying nobody's going to get arrested. Nobody's going to get arrested. But today, Prince Andrew, or former Prince Andrew, is arrested. I repeat, he is arrested today. So I have a couple clips on that. To be brief, you wonder why all these people are stepping down. It's because they're in trouble. The people that are stepping down and moving away are all in trouble, and they know it. Who's standing tall? Donald J. Trump. You know why? He's innocent. All right, so I'm gonna play a couple videos here, and then we're gonna get into the Department of Peace with President Trump, and that meeting was today too as well. So hope you stay tuned. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let's go ahead and play this.
Andrew has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Now known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, he was taken into custody in Norfolk just a short while ago. He is accused of allegedly sharing confidential information with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Mountbatten Windsor has previously denied any wrongdoing over his ties to Epstein. King Charles had stripped his brother of his titles back in October and has since evicted him from Windsor. Let's get.
I think this is just, and I don't know if this is true or not, but could you imagine if Jeffrey Epstein was still alive and Ghislaine Maxwell is working with the government and they're exposing all these people and they know it? And so this is why this is all happening right in front of our faces, is because we have, like Trump said, we have it all. He said that a long time ago. We have it all. He said it back in 2016. It's about waking up the normies. You have to live through this because it's part of the waking people up.
Back down to CNN's Sama Abdulaziz, who joins us live in London. Sama, what's the latest that you're hearing?
I want to start by asking maybe questions of what we don't know and what we do know so far. So we do know that he's been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office, but there's a lot of details that are still missing here, of course, Rahel. We don't know the specifics of the allegations of this investigation by the police. We're talking about a period of time between 2001 to 2011 when he was representing the UK as a trade envoy. But what are the specific allegations, the specific accusations of misconduct? We don't yet know that. What information actually prompted Thames Valley Police to make this arrest? That's the key question here, because we understand that they have been assessing this claim for some time now, I would say a period of days. That latest trove of emails where we see these allegations come to light has been out for a few weeks now. So what was the trigger? What was the switch? What was it that the police held on to that said, okay, now is the time when we need to take this very extraordinary action, of course, in this country? We also don't know where Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is currently being held. We don't know where he is being held. We simply know that he's been arrested, but we don't know any details beyond that or what the status of that is in terms of his arrest. And we still don't know if he's been interviewed under caution. That's what it's described as in this country. So essentially, has he been asked questions? Has he sat down with a police officer and been asked questions as of yet? And where has he been asked these questions? What location has he been taken to? What do we actually know right now? Well,
yes. What's going to happen is the house of cards is falling. And the Democrats and some Republicans are freaked out. Again, I am not a Republican. If there's a lot of Republicans out there that are pedophiles, they need to go away. They need to go away.
What we do know is Mr. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, former Prince Andrew, who only earlier this month was forced out of the royal residence, pushed into his brother's residence, the Sandringham estate, which is currently being searched by police, has now faced a watershed moment, really, not just for himself, but for the royal family and really for this country at large, being arrested. Now, again, Being arrested does not mean being guilty. We do not know the specifics here of why the police have taken this extraordinary action of arrest. That is the detail we need. But you can imagine that the royal family is reeling. King Charles has been trying to get ahead of this time and time again. Last year, he stripped his brother of all his royal titles. I said he's pushed him out of the royal residence. He even took this really extraordinary step of preempting the possibility of this happening right now by saying he was willing to support the police in any inquiry that they had. So there's going to be a sense in this country, first of all, that this has caught up with Prince Andrew. He has been long under question, long under suspicion for his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, a relationship that he appears to have lied about in the past, saying that he ended his relationship with Mr. Epstein once he was a convicted sex offender, so around 2008. Now, in these latest email troves, that does not appear to be the case, and it is now clear that he did continue that relationship after Epstein was convicted, and it is that information that led King Charles to strip him of his royal titles, to take these extraordinary steps to try to get ahead of what's happening here. But again, it has caught up with them. There is going to be also a bit of empathy.
I'm just going to leave that part right there because CNN goes on for another 10 minutes. But the Democrats had this information. They had the Epstein files for 4+ years, right? It's been out there. They had it. So why didn't they put it out? Why didn't they put it out is the question. That's the question I have. And that's the question you guys should have. I've heard, well, let's just get over this. Let's just get over this. They should just arrest these people. Well, the evidence has to come out. There'll be a civil war in this country. It has to slowly come out until for these people to understand it, because most people are working. Most people don't even care. But back then you did, when there was a milk carton, kids on the milk carton every single day. It's time for us as civilians and people of the world to start caring about what's going on in this country. You need to start caring, because these arrests will happen. Nobody gets away with it. Nobody's above the law. I don't care who you are. And the funny thing is Trump made him beg. He's making him beg for this stuff to come out. I don't care if that person on Trump's cabinet is a pedophile, because because he's going down too as well. And I think Trump knows this about a lot of his cabinet people, and he knows all things. Like, there's some people on his cabinet that I believe that would never came to light if Trump wouldn't have brought him to that position. We would never even known. So I believe this is all for a reason. All for a reason.
Mayor Karen Bass says she can't fire Casey.
This is another person that actually resigned.
Wasserman at this point, but she thinks he should step down as the chair of LA 28. Wasserman just put his talent agency up for sale after some top stars cut their links with his company. And it's not just executives in entertainment who are facing some of this new scrutiny for their now revealed connections to both Epstein and Maxwell. The head of Hyatt is stepping down, Tom Pritzker, saying in a statement in part, I exercised terrible judgment in maintaining contact with them, and there is no excuse for failing to distance myself sooner. And a top lawyer from Goldman Sachs also out after emails showed her ties to Epstein, where she described him as an older brother. A Goldman Sachs rep says Kathy Rumler regrets ever knowing him.
Yeah, but what they're failing to say is the Obama administration. They're all in on it.
Rumler previously said she was friendly with Epstein only in the context of being a criminal defense attorney. None of these.
Again, I'm going to go back to where I was saying earlier about how, wouldn't it be funny if they take in front of Congress and they all lying again, and then next thing you know, Jeffrey Epstein comes out and Ghislaine Maxwell comes out?
These people have been charged with any crimes or accused of wrongdoing related to Epstein by officials. Let's bring in Mel Zanona now, because this fallout, I mean, this web, we've talked about it, right? That these newly revealed Department of Justice documents that are put out show just how connected he was and the people sort of at these sort of high levels of culture, of sports, of politics, of academia, and more.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it really has been a slow-moving wave of resignations and investigations, but we are starting to see some of the fallout. And the latest example you touched on would be Tom Pritzker. He is the executive chairman of the Hyatt Group, the Hyatt Hotels. He decided to step down from his role after it came out that in these emails, he maintained really friendly contact with Jeffrey Epstein, even after that 2008 conviction, including one email where Epstein tried to enlist him to help him to get hotel reservations for a woman in Asia. Now, he is not accused of wrongdoing, Pritzker, but he did acknowledge his poor judgment. And in explaining his decision to step down, he did say, good stewardship also means protecting Hyatt, particularly in the context of my association with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, which I deeply regret. And to your point, this is also hitting Hollywood now because Casey Wasserman is selling his talent agency after a number of artists cut ties with his agency. After it was revealed he had flirtatious text messages with Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, Wasserman has said that while he deeply regrets that correspondence, he did note it was before he knew and before it came to light all of her horrific crimes. But despite the calls on him to step down as the chairman of the 2028 Olympics, the board is standing by him. They said in a statement that we found Mr. Wasserman's relationship with Epstein and Maxwell did not go beyond what has already been publicly documented. So perhaps one area where we might not see fallout, but I'm sure the calls are going to continue here.
We've seen.
Again, nobody gets away with it. Even if they're not on the list, Michelle, nobody gets away with it. Because you got the P. Diddy list. You got, let's see, Virgin Mobile, what's his name? He has his own island. Joe Biden had an island. It's going to get crazy. This is just a tip of the iceberg, guys. If you're tired of this, wait till the next part comes out.
Congress, obviously, as you well know, you're doing what they can with Ro Khanna, with Thomas Massie, with others, the House Oversight Committee, to get these files public. You've now got New Mexico, we've just learned, greenlighting an investigation into a now infamous ranch that Epstein owned in that state?
Yeah, really interesting. State lawmakers passed a bill that is formally greenlighting an investigation into Zorro Ranch. That is one of Epstein's properties. It's located in New Mexico. It's a sprawling estate, and this is where he is said to have trafficked and sexually assaulted numerous girls. And so this investigation is going to take the form of a bipartisan commission. They're going to be able to seek testimony not only from survivors, but also from anyone who visited this estate as well. They're going to have subpoena power, and they're also going to be able to deliver a report of their findings. So this could add to the growing fallout surrounding Epstein.
Melzano.
You gotta remember, these rats are cornered, and a lot of the news medias are actually covering for these people because they're cornered as well. I mean, what a time to be alive. Let's just get off that one here. And see, I went to CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News. Just basically showing you like different thought processes on different media, even though I think they're on the same side.
Back to a Fox News alert. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew of the UK, has reportedly been arrested.
Chandler Painter joins us now with the breaking details. Chandler.
Hey, Todd and Carly. So police say they took the brother of King Charles into custody on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Officers reportedly arrived at a royal estate in eastern England earlier this morning to make the arrest of the former prince, who turns 66 years old today. Andrew is in custody, and investigators are carrying out searches at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk. Police releasing this statement without naming Andrew, saying, quote, following a thorough assessment, we have now opened an investigation into this allegation of misconduct in public office. We're still waiting.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're basically just saying this. One other thing, again, it basically just, this is like Lex Wessner, whatever his name is, allegedly. He had ties with Jeffrey Epstein as well, billionaire. Allegedly, he had ties with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And he's out testifying in front of Congress or wherever he's testifying in front of. This is a short one.
Mr. Wexner, the committee is investigating the circumstances surrounding Mr. Epstein and Miss Maxwell and the trafficking of young women, trafficking and sexual abuse of young women. Or
again, it's not just trafficking, and this is what they're selling right now. There's way more deeply ties to this, and this is like I said, this is just scratches the surface. This pisses me off. Wait till child eating and all that adrenochrome comes out. Wait a minute, I didn't say that. That's just allegedly.
Girls. Did Miss Maxwell ever introduce you to any young woman or girl?
No, I don't think she ever introduced me to any female or man.
Did Miss Maxwell ever ask you to introduce a young woman or girl to your friends or associates?
No.
Did you ever introduce any young woman or girl that you met through Miss Maxwell to any of your friends or associates?
Objection. Assumes the fact not in evidence.
Your client can still urge you to answer the question.
That's fine. Repeat the question. I think the answer is no, but let's.
Did you ever introduce any woman or girl that you met through Miss Maxwell to any of your friends or associates?
No, never.
So, if you guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys had any experiences with court cases, most of the time they ask you certain questions because they already have the answers and they're just seeing what you're going to say, right? I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm pretty sure that's how that goes, but maybe not all the time. All right, so this is Fox News on Trump peace meeting today.
White House reinforcing its peace through strength agenda overseas and here at home. Today, the president is hosting world leaders for the first Board of Peace meeting focusing on the future of Gaza.
Meanwhile, the U.S. military is ramping up its presence in the Middle East as the administration pushes Iran to abandon its rogue nuclear program. Lucas Tomlinson joins us from Washington with the very latest. Hi, Lucas.
Well, good morning, Carly and Todd. President Trump will preside over his first ever Board of Peace meeting today in Washington, focused on the future of Gaza. One of the major
I got some of that. I'm going to play some of it.
Major questions hanging over the meeting is the disarmament of Hamas and who will provide peacekeeping forces. At the White House, there was also a question of funding the reconstruction if Hamas lays down its weapons.
And will that be sort of the down payment for much more money?
You'll be hearing more about that tomorrow at the meeting. If you recall, at the first meeting when we were in Davos, Jared Kushner did provide a very detailed PowerPoint presentation for the vision of Gaza, the reconstruction and the humanitarian efforts, of course, providing local security on the ground. First, you must achieve security to get to prosperity, which is sort of the second part of this plan.
The Board of Peace meets in Washington as the U.S. military buildup in the Middle East continues. The USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier strike group will be in the Mediterranean soon if she didn't pass through Gibraltar last night. Dozens of fighter jets are heading to the region to join naval assets, including F-22 Raptors. Recall these fifth-generation stealth fighter jets arrived in the Middle East just 4 days before Operation Midnight Hammer over the summer. And elite search and rescue assets have already arrived to rescue any downed pilots if necessary. Top national security officials met in the White House Situation Room yesterday to discuss planning. The first strikes could take place as soon as this weekend. Axios reports, quote, a U.S. military operation in Iran would likely be a massive weeks-long campaign that would look more like a full-fledged war than last month's pinpoint operation in Venezuela, sources say. Iran has said it will hold joint exercises with Russian forces in the Gulf of Oman. That puts those forces just a few hundred miles away from the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier strike group on station in the Arabian Sea. Now, today, the Board of Peace meets. In the days ahead, guys, the potential for war with Iran exists. Carly, Todd?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, we're going to go over to the Board of Peace now. That was today. That was today. Let me see what the date was. 2/19/2026. So I'm going to go to that. I had to jump ahead just because of the music that was playing. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. This is
The Board of
a
Peace.
big day, and lots of people watching, and especially from other countries, the leaders of, as you know, the other countries, because we have a large group of leaders, and the ones that aren't here are watching on
I'll be
Zoom.
right back.
I hope they enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. So let me go ahead and get back onto that. That was weird. Anyway, the Board of Peace, I had it, but I'm not sure why.
Play solo. After work. At your own pace. No stress.
Interesting. Sorry, I was actually going to let the dog out because he won't. And this. All right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Trump will be right back out. I see that he has Marco Rubio and
Ladies and
Vice
gentlemen,
President. So
please welcome the
give me a
President
minute.
of
I'll
the
be right
United
back.
States, Donald J. Trump.
Well, thank you very much. This is a big day, and lots of people watching, and especially from other countries, the leaders of, as you know, the other countries, because we have a large group of leaders, and the ones that aren't here are watching on Zoom. I hope they enjoy it. And the press, we appreciate it very much, so respectful. You've been so respectful of what we're doing. What we're doing is very simple, peace. It's called the Board of Peace, and it's all about an easy word to say, but a hard word to produce, peace. But we're going to produce it, and we've been doing a really good job, and some of these leaders that are with us have helped me very much during just this first year. We have a first year like probably no other ever in our country, because we settled 8 wars and I think a 9th to come. It's turned out to be a tougher one. I thought that was going to be the easiest one. But with war, you never know what's easy and what's not so easy. But we've had a great relationship, and I've become friendly with so many of the people. And I appreciate you being here. These are great people. These are great leaders. And the people that are watching by closed circuit and open circuit in many cases, they're so proud of it. They want it to be open. But they become incredible friends of mine. And, you know, we rebuilt our country in my first term, and now we're at a point that the United States has never seen before. We broke 50,000 on the Dow. They said that would take 4 years. We broke 7,000 on the S&P. They said you couldn't do that within 4 years. It would be impossible. And when I came in, they were all saying if he could get to anywhere close to 45,000, it would be amazing achievement over 4 years. Well, we hit 50,000 in the first year, and we hit 7,000, which was actually tougher to do according to the Wall Street geniuses. We hit 7,000 in the first year. They said it could take 4 or 5 years. They'd be very happy. It would have been a great job. We did it in 1, but we're doing a great job. Board of Peace is one of the most important and consequential things I think that I'll be involved in. We've been involved in a lot, and really I've been involved in a lot with the people up here. We work together on ending wars with their country. Some of the wars were 32 years long, 32, 34, and a 37. That's a long time, and we ended it in about 2 days, each one of those. But we have some other work to do, and we're getting it done. Gaza is very complex. It's been amazing. I want to thank Steve and Jared for an amazing job. Marco's over there watching. Everybody's fantastic. And JD, what a job. They were all doing. It's a team. I think it's the best team ever assembled. And you see that by the results. So today is a tremendous honor to welcome you all to the United States Institute of Peace for the inaugural meeting of the Board of Peace. Very important. I believe it's the most consequential board, certainly in terms of power and in terms of prestige. There's never been anything close, because these are the greatest world leaders. Almost everybody's accepted, and the ones that haven't will be. Some are playing a little cute. It doesn't work. You can't play cute with me. But they're playing a little bit. But they're all joining. Everybody. Most of them very immediately.
Just stretching so you don't have to see me.
Immediately. A few that we really don't want because they're trouble. Take care of them. But this is the most prestigious board ever put together. You know, I've seen some great corporate boards. I've seen some great boards, period. It's peanuts compared to this board, because we have virtually everyone is the head of a country other than Johnny, but he's the head of soccer, so that's not so bad, right, Johnny? I like your job the best, I think. And by the way, your World Cup has set every single ticket record in the history of soccer. In the history, nobody's ever seen anything like it. The sales are virtually complete. Nobody's ever seen anything, so congratulations. You made a good decision. We did it together. Thank you, Johnny. Great guy. So I want to thank the many leaders and dignitaries who have traveled great distances and lengths for the important gathering that we're at right now. This building was built for peace, and nobody knew what to name it. And then Marco named it after me. I had nothing to do with it. I swear I didn't. I swear. I had no idea. They said, there's a surprise coming. I didn't know that surprise. I thought they were going to give me a lot of money or something, maybe cash. Could always use some extra cash. But I came and they stopped the beautiful beast. I got out very safely, I'm sure, and looked up, and there it said, Donald J. Trump on the building. And when I say that had nothing to do, nobody believes it, and that's okay. But I appreciated it. That was Marco and JD and a group got together and they did that, and I just thought it was very nice. And it makes me work harder. We're going to have to work harder. We're going to have to make this building much more important. It's brand new. They built it for peace, but nobody occupied it. You know, nobody knew what the purpose of it. But the architecture is so beautiful, and it was with the meeting rooms, the reception rooms. It's really amazing. Who would think that it was built without anybody in mind or anything in mind, and then the State Department took it over. They liked it. Marco came over one day. He saw this. He said, "This building is great," and he actually claimed it. Right? He claimed it. And that's what he does. Where is Marco? I said, Marco, is that true? You claimed this building. You took it away from about 5 groups that wanted it. That was done very quickly, very methodically. But it was really, really built so beautifully in such a beautiful building. But we worked together to ensure the brighter future for the people of Gaza, the Middle East, and the entire world. I think that the Board of Peace, because it's mostly leaders and unbelievably respected people, but mostly leaders of Middle Eastern countries, countries from all over the world, and they've been very generous with money also. And the United States, which I'll say in a moment, is also very generous with money because there's nothing more important than peace. And there's nothing less expensive than peace. You know, when you go to wars, it costs you 100 times what it costs to make peace. We have a man at the end right there that's smiling because you learned that after 30 years of fighting, right? 30 years of fighting, we got it done. I want to thank you very much. That was a great thing you did. You and your new friend, they came to my office and they said, I've been fighting for 22 years. Now you're there for 23 years, right? But I've been fighting for 22 years. That's all I've done is fight this gentleman. And his counterpart was there for 7 years. He said, I've been there for 7 years. All I've done is fight this gentleman. And we had it worked out in about 24 hours, right? And it's been a good piece. And I think they've become friends. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say that, but I think so. I think they've become friends, right? Right. Great. Stand up. Stand up. These are two tough cookies, too. You think that was easy? It wasn't easy. These are two tough people, good people, but tough people. But, you know, we're in the Oval Office, and we were getting near. But the one was at one side of the room. I have two chairs right in front of the desk, the beautiful, resolute desk. One's over here. One's on the other side of the room. I said, folks, could you get a little closer? Well, I don't. They felt very uncomfortable. You know, they've been killing each other for 32 years. So I say, can you get a little closer? After 1 hour, they were right next to each other. We made a deal. They hugged, they signed, and we had peace with two very important countries, and I'll never forget it. So they started off a little weak, and they ended up really strong, and you can be very proud of yourselves. It was a beautiful thing to see. Thank you. Look at that. Do you believe it? 32 years. Thank you. Thank you very much. But we're honored to be joined today by Prime Minister Rama of Albania. President, where is President Milei? You're another one, I'll tell you. Where is President Milei? I endorsed him. I'm not supposed to be endorsing people, but I endorse, when I like people, you know, I've had a very good record of endorsing candidates within the United States. But now I endorse foreign leaders, including Viktor Orban, who's here, and others. And I endorse this gentleman, Milei. He was a little behind in the polls. He ended up winning in a landslide. I just endorsed the Prime Minister of Japan. She was in a tight race, but was probably going to win. And she won in the largest number in the history of Japan. So she likes me a lot. But it was an honor, and you're doing great. Oh, look, they're sitting right next, Victor. I think, but ultimately, I think I'm going to end up endorsing. Hey, look, as long as it works, it's okay with me. But the endorsement seems to be working in foreign countries, too, so that's good. But nice to have you both. Victor, nice to have you both. Very proud of you. The Prime Minister of another, really just a great guy, Pashinyan of Armenia. President Aliyev of Azerbaijan. I love saying that name now, you know. At the beginning, it was giving me a hard time. Now I love saying it. It's a beautiful name. I love it. His Majesty, King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa of Bahrain. Bahrain. Thank you. Thank you. Where are you? Where are you? He's so rich, he can sit there. He can sit wherever the hell he wants. You know, he could sit up in the corner. He could sit up top. He might take a piece of this building, Marco. He'll take 25% of the building for about $6 billion. Thank you. And you've been very generous also. We appreciate it. Prime Minister Hun Manet of Cambodia. Raise your hand wherever you may be. Because, yeah, hi, how are you? Congratulations. That was another one, right? We did a good job with that one. Prime Minister Madbouli of Egypt. Thank you very much, and say hello to the General/President. Okay? Prime Minister Orban of Hungary, who has my complete and total endorsement for election. Not everybody in Europe.
Every month, this Airbnb pays me about $2,700 in semi-passive income. Now, here's the thing. I don't own it, and I don't pay any rent.
All right, guys.
Here's the thing. You
loves that endorsement, but that's okay. He does an unbelievable job. He's done an incredible job on immigration. Unlike some countries that have hurt themselves, but they're working on it. But I just want to let you know, you have my total and complete endorsement, and I'm putting it out. I already did, but I'm putting it out again. And you're coming up with an election, and I think you should be good. I'll tell you, Milei did pretty well. He was a little down, right? And then he ended up winning in a landslide, so that's pretty good. You're going to do great, Victor. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. You run a great country. A man that I really like a lot he's definitely tough. I don't want to fight him. President Prabowo of Indonesia. Thank you very much. Please, this is a big guy. I tell you, I said, how many people in Indonesia? He said, like 240 million. I said, no, say it again. How many? It's a big country you have. And you do a great job and respected by everybody. And thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much, Mr. President. President Tokayev of Kazakhstan, thank you very much. What a country that is. It's a wonderful country and a rich country, in case anybody has any question. We have some very rich people here today. President Osmani of Kosovo. President, thank you very much. Great job you're doing, too. Thank you very much. Prime Minister Sharif, I like this man, of Pakistan, because there was some fighting going on when I got to know him, and your Field Marshal, General, great general, great Field Marshal, a great guy. And I got to meet the Prime Minister. And he said in front of our Chief of Staff, Susie Wells, who's right here, he said, you know, nobody knows this, but I believe that President Trump saved 25 million lives when he stopped the war between us and India, right? You made that statement? I said 25 million lives. Could have been much more, actually. But it was really a beautiful thing. You said that in front of a group of people they walked out. They don't think about it, but you're talking about that kind of lives. That war was raging. Planes were being shot down, right? And it was Pakistan and India. And I got on the phone with both of them, and I knew them a little bit. I knew Prime Minister Modi very well, actually. I got to know Pakistan through a little trade. They were trying to make too good a deal, and I got a little upset with them. And in the end, they got what they wanted, right? And they made a good deal. And I got to like them, the Prime Minister, the Field Marshal, who's a tough man, good fighter, right? Good, serious fighter. I like good fighters, actually. And when I heard that they were fighting, I picked up a certain newspaper. I won't tell you which one, because it's fake news generally. But I picked up this newspaper, and I saw that Pakistan and India were really going at it. And then it got worse and worse, and many planes were shot down. It was all out. And I called them, and I said, listen, I'm not doing trade deals with you two guys if you don't settle this up. They said, no, that has both of them. They didn't want to do that. I said, no, it has to. If you don't do it, I'm not doing a trade deal. We're not doing a trade deal. And they do a lot of business with the United States, and they sort of softened up all of a sudden. Then all of a sudden I read where there was a little bit of a pullback by one, then the other, and all of a sudden we worked out a deal, right? But I said, if you fight, I'm going to put 200% tariffs on each of your countries, which essentially makes you not allowed, you can't do any business. One of them, I won't say which one, said, no, can't do that. They both wanted to fight. But when it came to money, it's not like money. When it came to losing a lot of money, they said, I guess we don't want to fight. And we solved that deal in 2-3 days, right? And we did. We said, these are two very powerful nations. These are two nuclear nations. And I don't want to say what was going to happen, but, bad things happen. So, Prime Minister, I want to thank you, because that was a very big deal. People have no idea. A lot of them say, oh, well, they weren't fighting. They were fighting. 11 jets were shot down, very expensive jets. And they were all in. Both of them were all in, and now they're not. And I think we'll always be able to settle up with them. I really do. I think you're going to have, it's a lot of progress was made even in the relationship. And Prime Minister Modi also, he's a great man. He's a great guy. They're all great. But I was very proud of it. President Pena.
Excuse me, sir, how old were you when you made your first million?
What is this for?
We're trying to get advice for the younger generation.
I made my first million.
Of Paraguay is here, President. President, thank you very much. Young, handsome guy. It's always nice to be young and handsome. Doesn't mean we have to like you. I don't like young, handsome men. Women, I like. Men, no, I don't have any interest. Good, that's right. That's right. Thank you very much. You're doing a great job, too. His Excellency Prime Minister Al Thani of Qatar, just a great man, please, a great man and highly respected. And he's working with a man who is amazing. I always say he needs a public relations agency because you do so much good and they have you down as evil. And you're not evil. You help us so much and you're such a good ally. And I just want people to know that. And the Emir is incredible, smart, as smart as you can be, a great leader. And he cares so much for the people. And he cares so much for the Middle East. So I want to thank you very much and send my regards. Your country has been a great help. So, you know, surprising to some of the people writing out there, but now they'll start changing their tune because it's true. I only tell the truth. Prime Minister Don of Romania, wonderful people. The Romanian people are fantastic, fantastic people, like you're fantastic. And a lot of them come and work in this country and help us in this country, as you know, and it's they are just really solid people. President Mirziyoyev of Uzbekistan, who is where? There he is, and a friend of mine. He's got one of the most difficult names in history, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Your country's doing great. You're doing great, and just no problems. Every time I see him, nope, we're doing good, no problems. And General Secretary To Lam of Vietnam. Vietnam is incredible as a country and as a force, and it's an honor to have you. A really great honor to have you. A lot of respect for your country. We'll also want to express my gratitude to Vice President J.D. Vance, who is a fantastic man. He's a fantastic talent. He was a great student. He went to one school. He graduated. You know, most people, if you watch some of the people that were at the event in Munich, they didn't graduate quickly from college. They had everything they could do. There was one young, attractive woman. She was unable to answer questions. And she didn't do so well like J.D. did in college. J.D. graduated in a 4.5-year college in 2 years. And then he went to Yale and he graduated at the top of his class, went to the military grade. But when he went to Yale, there was one person that was marginally ahead of him. So he married her. Can you believe it? He married the person that was ahead. I don't know. I always like to say J.D. was first and Usha was second, because I get a little uncomfortable when I say them. But he's been incredible. He's a brilliant guy and a great guy, and he's been my friend. All of our people. We have a fantastic group of people, our cabinet members, everybody, many of them here. But J.D.'s been great. Thank you very much. He gets a little bit tough on occasion. We've got to slow him down just a little bit on occasion. He says his mind. Now, then we have the opposite extreme. We have your friend sitting in the back. Your best friend sitting in the back is Marco. Marco does it with a velvet love, but it's a kill, right? The result is the same. They do it very differently. And Marco, you really did yourself proud 2 days ago in Munich. In fact, so proud that I almost terminated his employ because they were saying, why can't Trump do this? I do, but I say it differently. But Marco, don't do any better than you did, please. Because if you do, you're out of here. But no, I want my guys to do great. And the acclaim he's gotten and the acclaim J.D. gets is great. We have smart people. And when you see the representatives there, like Gavin Newsom, he didn't know what he was doing. They didn't even know why. He didn't know why he was there. Or AOC, she was unable to answer a simple question.
And yeah, our governor from the state of Michigan, the blue state, red state after Trump won, she was over in Davos as well, spending all of Michigan's money, the ones that, you know, we put towards the roads that she never fixed. All right, I'm gonna pause it right there, and I'm just gonna say I'm gonna leave it right there. You talked a little bit about the Epstein files. I'm trying not to say much about it because I'm pretty much over with it as well. But there's a lot of distractions out there, and you guys need to stay informed because when these people start going to prison, and you have a general idea why. So, and you guys don't freak out. But anyway, I went over it a little bit. If you guys want to know more about the Board of Peace, that's getting bigger and bigger. Hopefully one day that drowns out the United Nations. And so we can all come together as one under God. So with that being said, thank you so much. And wait for the next the next video coming out. And please like, share, and subscribe. That would be amazing. Comment down below where you guys are from. Thank you.